Hello friends, welcome back to our overhead electrification presentation part 2. You are watching part 2, so I hope you like the part 1. And in part 1 we discussed about various components of OHE which are listed here, and in the last video I told you there are some terms used in OHE which we will discuss in this video. So I'm just briefly recap the points which we have discussed in last video. We have discussed the components like catenary wire, contact wire, concrete foundation, traction mast, single multi bracket assembly, stay arm, jumpers, section insulator, post insulator, and section insulator assembly, single pole isolator, and then auto tensioning device and structure bond. Now in this video we will discuss about the other specific terms used in OHE which you need not you may require during understanding of the system. We'll start with encumbrance. What is this? If you see the drawing, it is the axial distance between catenary and contact wire in a vertical plane. If in this section this is the catenary wire center and this is contact wire center, if you see this encumbrance is already mentioned over here. This is the vertical distance. Now the other terms is wire, contact wire. This is also vertical distance which is measured from contact wire to the rail level. This is the height of contact wire from the top of rail. And then normally this contact wire height is in the range of 5.5 meter to 5.8 meter. Then jumper we already discussed. It is the electrical conductor used for maintaining the continuity in various part of OHE. We have discussed various types of jumper in last video. So this same. Now we have more terms like suspension distance. It is the horizontal distance from center of eye of catenary suspension bracket to the face of mast. If you see here, from catenary wire to face of the mast. This is a setting distance mentioned in the drawing, and you can also call it suspension distance. And one more term you can use for this is implantation, as it is equal to implantation. We'll discuss in later this section. And what is a span? Span is the distance between two adjacent masts. If you see this image, from one mast to second mast, this distance is called span. This is usually varying from 27 meter to 68 meter, 72 meter, depending upon the wind pressure and curvature. On a straight track it will be more, and on a curve it will be reduced. And also if the air pressure in the particular area is increasing, this span will reduce. Then what is stagger? Stagger I told you briefly in the last video. Once again I tell you, stagger is a horizontal distance of contact wire from vertical plane to track center. What is it? For easy understanding, we'll open the same image where we have seen it. Here, if you see this This is a contact wire in red color. If you see the top view, this is the top view of this same section, and this center line is shown as a pentaxis, which is equal to center line of railway track, and this zigzag formation is made up of contact wire. The amount of stagger at a particular mast is the distance between the center line of track and this center line of contact wire. Normally it is maintained 200 mm for a straight track, which will increase at curve. It goes up to 300 mm on curved tracks. Hope you understand this. We will move to our next term. Yeah. Next is tension length. In OHE, the whole conductor, this catenary and contact wire, is kept in a tension from starting to end point, which is called anchor points. And the length of total OHE circuit from first anchor point to the last anchor point is called length of conductor, or it is also known as tension length. So the next term is dropper. Dropper we have seen here. This is the vertical wire in between catenary and contact wire. It helps in supporting the contact wire. Usually the dropper wire is placed every 9 meter from the uh, first dropper wire to the next. The distance is 9 meter, but near mast it is less as compared to 9 meter. It's around 2 to 3 meter. You can see in the image. Next, auto tensioning device, ATD, we have discussed in the last this video also. It is a device for maintaining the tension in the OHE conductors. Here conductors means catenary as well as contact wire. So it will maintain the tension at all the temperature condition. And the OHE which is having auto tensioning device is called regulated OHE. Power block. Railway block means uh, it is, you can say, in other industry we say shutdown of a particular machinery. So in railway we use a term block. If it is for electrification, it means that section will be disconnected from the power supply. This that portion of section will be under power block. There will be no power loco movement in that area. And if there is also restriction of movement of diesel engine, so that we call a traffic block, which includes both power as well as diesel loco movement also. So in our OHE terms, it is blocking a section. It is a blocking of a section of a line to electric traffic only. If it is a traffic block, then there will be total blockage of movement of train. Tower wagon. Uh, Actually, the name tower wagon seems like type of wagon, but it's actually a small loco, which is similar to loco, but it is a self-propelled diesel loco, which has inbuilt maintenance tool room, as well as there is a space for placing the tools, inspection kit, and also the person maintenance person can stand there, and it consists of all the maintenance tools which are required during inspection and shutdown. This tower wagon is usually used by a section in charge of railway to take care of all the maintenance activity within their jurisdiction. So uh, this is a property of railway, and it is used on major junctions where the OHE maintenance is regularly required, and also for regular inspection. Next term we in plantation. This is an important term. It is a horizontal distance between the center line of a track to the face of a mast. If you see in a image from this face of mast to the center line of track, the track is not visible in the image, so we can see this drawing. It is also equivalent to setting distance because the catenary wire center is usually at the center line of track. Only staggering is done in the contact wires case. Sometimes it will be inside, sometimes it will be outside. Here it is staggering. I'm again explaining staggering. If this contact wire is inside, it is a inside staggering, negative staggering, and if it is going outside, it will be positive staggering. And this is center line of track, and this distance is also called implantation from face of the mass to center line of track. Now there are some terms which are used with respect to design. Uh, in railway, these are very common terms, but maybe you are not aware of the what is the meaning of that. Like LOP is used for the drawing, which is the basic drawing of OHE, and it is OHE layout plan, which is the first document which will be required to be get approved from railway before execution of any work. We'll try to cover this LOP approval process and all the approval process for a particular project in a different video, but for now you just be aware from these terms. What's LOP stand for? LOP is for layout plan of overhead electrification. And then CSD. CSD is a cross-sectional drawing which is usually submitted along with the LOP. This is the designed plan of each mast in this document. For each mast, what will be the cross-sectional view? And I just show you one drawing which is actually SED, which is our next term. SED stands for structure erection drawing. What is difference between CSD and SED? Actually, these both are same, but the difference only difference is structure erection drawing is made after completion of project, and you can say as built drawing of a particular mast or structure. So it is known as structure erection drawing. Erection term is used only because after this drawing is made after erection, okay, and this is also called as erected drawings. So I show you one drawing here. This is structure erection drawing. This is also known as erected, you can say. If the data in the drawing is as per site condition, it is known as erected drawing. For now we are considering it structure drawing which we have designed. It shows all the measurement. If you observe it, I think it is visible, but I just zoom it back to clarity. This is a cantilever portion of a mast, and all the parts are mentioned, and this ABC is the horizontal distance from point to this point to this point, and we have made one table over here which records all the values, and at the top is dimensions are mentioned here. This type of drawing is need to be made for each and every mast placed in a plan layout plan. So it is very much important to maintain this document, and it should be as per railway requirement. There is some tolerance is allowed, so it should be within the applicable tolerance limit. For example, in this drawing, this is the rail level. If you can see, this is the rail level, and this is the conductor point, which is 5.75 meter high. This is the conductor height, 5.75 meter, and from this encumbrance we say from catenary to contact wire 1.25 meter, and implantation here is 3.31 meter from face of the mast to the center line of track. And this is foundation type. Foundation type is also mentioned here in this table. What type of mast is there, what type of foundation is there, everything is mentioned in this table. If you can observe, this is a location number where this mast is placed. And what is the mast type? B150 means this is the column type. B150, 150 is the width of this mast. And what is the mast length? Mast length always remains same for all the OHG mast. It's a 9.5 meter. And we have soil pressure value, foundation reference, everything is here with respect to the design part. Hope it is clear. And for making the as-built site erection drawing, we used to measure all this dimension with the help of a trolley. This is a site photograph for SED checking, and this is a register format which we used to maintain for SED checking. These are the various dimensional data we need to measure while checking at site. Based upon this data, this document has been prepared for all the values. Yeah, for this video, we'll conclude it here. It is the major terms I have mentioned here. So, in our next videos, we will try to explain some of the equipments used in OHG which we have discussed in last video in brief. We will try to go in depth and one by one. So, thank you very much for watching the video, and if you like it, please like and share with your friends. I hope it will help them to understand this overhead electrification, not for their professional work, maybe for their general understanding. Whenever they move in a train or they are passing by a railway station, they will try to observe it, and in future maybe help it will help Indian Railway to get some interest from the young generation, so they will encourage to work with railway in future. So thank you very much once again, and we'll see you in our next video.